This episode of Horse Racing Nerd Reviews was a special request by my good friend Ren Marston. She is the person responsible for all the channel art you see in my videos. She is a terrific artist, but an even better friend, so I thought it was only fair to talk about and review one of her favorite movies. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Robert Redford. An actor with accolades too numerous to mention, and for horse lovers, a total heartthrob, especially in the classic horse movie, The Electric Horseman. Maybe next time. 1979 was a great year for racehorses, real and fictional. Spectacular Bid won the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness, but still was unable to compete with the 4-year-old Affirmed, who cemented his legacy as an all-time great. And on the big screen, two movies about missing racehorses, The Black Stallion and The Electric Horseman, would be released 2 months apart, and both be nominated for Academy Awards. Electric Horseman stars Robert Redford and Jane Fonda, better known as romantic leads in Neil Simon's Barefoot in the Park, but they returned for this movie. Apparently, Jane Fonda fell in love with Robert during their times co-starring in movies. Robert fell in love too, with the horse. It took 6 months to find the perfect equine actor to play the superstar racehorse Rising Star, and ironically, they purposely avoided casting ex-racehorses, instead focusing on temperament. What they would get was Let's Merge, a 5-year-old dressage thoroughbred. Redford and Let's Merge did all the riding sequences together, and when filming wrapped up, Let's Merge was purchased by Redford and lived with him for the remaining 18 years of his life. This wasn't the first or the last time an actor bought a horse they co-starred with in a movie. It would be a fair guess to think that the horse stunts the two had to do were the hardest to film and perfect, but you would be wrong. It was the kiss scene that proved the most difficult because of passing thunderstorms. It took 48 takes and cost over $250,000 to get one 20-second kiss scene. That was 2% of their budget. I'd say it was money well spent. But with those general facts out of the way, how does the movie itself hold up? We're about to find out. Oh, and spoilers ahead. The story is pretty simple. Sonny Steele is a former 5-time champion cowboy, and now he sells cereal. He would still much rather be riding horses or bulls, but this job has given him the chance to sit on the back of a retired $12 million racehorse named Rising Star. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the name. If you name a racehorse in a movie, I want to see you go all out. But I'll let it slide. He finds out pretty quickly that the horse is being abused. So later that night, he gets a divorce and then steals the horse. The first 30 minutes are a bit of a drag, but important to establishing our plot. The rest of our story follows news reporter Hallie, as she tries to get the scoop on why Sonny is stealing a prized racehorse, and what he plans to do. In classic movie fashion, she goes from news reporter to accomplice, as they dodge the authorities, kiss a little, and release Rising Star into the wild, where he'll live out the rest of his days in peace. A simple classic story with some parts that work better than others. For such a story to have the perfect outcome for our heroes requires a bit of suspension of disbelief. Being able to steal such a prized animal, release it into the wild, have the horse be completely fine, and then get away with the crime and suffer zero consequences requires a lot of luck. You gotta wonder why Sonny didn't play a few slots at Caesar's Palace. Now when I say all of this, I'm not saying this is a bad thing. It's what movies are made for. I found a lot of it enthralling and entertaining. Seeing Steele and Rising Star outmaneuver cop cars and motorcycles is freaking awesome, and my personal favorite scene. The main part that I didn't enjoy as much and couldn't fully let go was the whole releasing Rising Star into the wild thing. That plotline has never been my favorite in any context, but I still found parts that I enjoyed. The characters are at least somewhat aware of the chances this doesn't work, and I love Steele getting the last laugh and outsmarting everybody, even Hallie, by tricking them all into thinking he was releasing the horse somewhere else. But the editing at the very end is a little bit wonky, but otherwise it's fine. Electric Horseman's story is good and old-fashioned even for the time, but it's not my favorite part of this movie. Some movies are story-driven, while others are character-driven. Electric Horseman is the latter. There are not a lot of characters. The main ones to talk about are Sonny Steele, Hallie Martin, and of course, the horse, Rising Star. But Rising Star doesn't really have the biggest personality. He looks like a dream to ride, but the coolest parts of Rising Star are when Sonny describes his career on the track, or before he finally releases the beast when it's time to dodge the cops.
Okay, now, junkie, no excuses. Tennis going down, you ain't wheezing anymore, and goddamn, I seen you run. Let's go.
That line is just so cool. Besides those scenes, Rising Star is the happiest camper I've ever seen, willing to do anything the characters need him to do without really a second thought behind his eyes. So what about Sonny and Hallie? Sonny is the ultimate cowboy fantasy. When Owen Wilson dresses up as a cowboy, he wishes he was Sonny Steele. He's blunt, aloof, cares more about horses than people, or money, and certainly a very specific person's type of fantasy. I'm looking at you. And of course, there's Hallie. She starts out pursuing Sonny and Rising Star to get a good story, but as she gets to know the sexy and mysterious cowboy and his mission, she becomes infatuated and helps set the horse free. Now, some could write her off as just a typical love interest, but I wouldn't, considering she is the smartest character in the movie, finding Sonny and the missing horse pretty much all by herself when no one else could. She's book smart while Sonny is street smart. The best part of their romance is the fact that it's so brief. For those few days, these two people who have almost nothing in common were perfect for each other in the not-so-everyday quest of releasing a horse. But when they complete their mission, they go their separate ways. Sonny never wanted to be a commercial star. He's a cowboy, and always will be. Hallie is a news reporter, and won't give up those dreams to stay with a guy she's known for less than a week. What they had was special, but only meant to last for that journey. And that's how life is sometimes. We all have someone we only knew for a relatively short period of time, but that time spent together, you will never forget. Before Robert Redford would play a horse person who has a brief romance with a city woman in The Horse Whisperer, he did so in The Electric Horseman. It is my first experience in the realm of horse romance movies, and I don't regret it. Sure, it's a bit cliche and corny, but it's still a fun story that made me care about its characters, which is a mark of any good movie. For that, I give it a 7.5 out of 10 and a B+ on my horse movie tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you Ren for suggesting it. And that goes for all of you. If you have a horse movie you want me to review, put it in the comment section below. See you guys next time.